Good morning, Rabbi Sai. It's very sad. It might be happy for other people, but this is the last year here in Chicago. It was a long ben azmanim. I want to thank Mark again for being on almost every single day for two shiurim and for being the anonymous sponsor of this large screen. An upgraded, the other one broke on our little trip to Skokie, I think, or just from wear and tear, being in the hot boiler room. But it's a beautiful screen. Ishkoyach. It's always somebody stepping up. And the plan is for me to give, so I'll just tell you my schedule so you know where I am in the world. Because it's very difficult to reach Eretz Yisrael these days, including my good friend Avi Kamiansky and his whole family. All their tickets got canceled. They're somewhere in the West. They had to unfortunately postpone. I know it's very sad. They're stuck in Zion with bison and buffalo and wolves and lakes and waterfalls. It's nervim how they have to be there for another 4 or 5 days. I really feel for them. And I feel for myself also. We are going to Washington tomorrow morning. From Washington to Athens. Athens only a 9-hour layover. And eventually we're going to reach Eretz Yisrael at 12 a.m. Friday morning. So we're leaving tomorrow, Wednesday. So in Athens, I'm probably going to give one shiur. I don't think it's going to be English. I think English we're okay. This is going to be good all the way to Friday. Friday morning, Bezrat Hashem, in Beis Medrash is the next shiur, I believe. Samach Vav in English. Does that make sense? Yes. Yeah. I don't know. Okay, we'll figure it out. Somehow we'll figure it out in Athens and everything will be beseder. Before we get to Athens, I just want to show you, here's the Olam steiging away in Hebrew. This is the Hebrew shiur. A few Hasidim came, some guests I see, some Bieber hits. Nice size Olam in the Beis Medrash. Nicer than here live in Chicago, put it that way. But I can't make fun of Chicago. It's been very, very nice. Here's a couple emails in Hebrew. Let me see if it's Gedale to read here. He said he's very happy that I'm dedicated to the daf, even bin Zmanim, and because of me, he didn't miss a single daf since the beginning of Bava Basra. That's where a lot of Israelis, like I said a few times, it's a peleplayim, it's a chesed Hashem. Over 5,000 Hebrew-speaking people, mostly Israelis, joined for Bava Basra. That's why many of the people that write in now, they say, oh, I haven't missed anything since the beginning of Bava Basra, because that's where most of them started. The whole shiur in Hebrew is only 7 months old. Unfortunately, I had to leave Kailal a couple years ago, and I opened up a store. That's what he writes. I don't know why. Unfortunately, and I opened up a store in Haifa. I don't remember. The kids of the shiur gives him life, and he feels really good. Even his kids at home really enjoy the shiur, shalom, and helps them prepare for next year in yeshiva. Here's video of my son preparing Hakoras. And he says, P.S. would love to host you in Haifa for a shiur, b'hatzlacha. And here's his child. Let me just lower the volume here. Okay. And one more. This is Yotam from Chulon. So we have Haifa and Chulon. So all over Israel, Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem, I am happy that I started learning Daf Yomi from Bava Basra with you. I very much enjoy it. Thank you very much for everything. I work in like an old age home or something, and I makbid to learn the daf over there. The only problem is I don't have a Gemara over there. One day, one of the elders came. One of the elders whose grandson is still, the hostage in Gaza. His name is, he writes at the end, Bar Kuperstein is the name of his grandson. So he's in this old age home, and he brought a sefer, a very old sefer. I looked inside, I see it's a Bava Basra. This is what his father learned with in Russia, and now the son brought it to the old age home. I feel a tremendous schus that I can learn from this Gemara, and I hope that the learning will be a schus, that there should be a complete all the hostages go free, and that also his grandson, Bar Cooperstein, who's there, should come home, Be'ezer Hashem, healthy and whole, b'meheira amen, yotam from Chulon. Rabbi said, this is Gary Ben Moshe on the GWB. Yeah, you guys familiar? George Washington Bridge. I'll tell you the joke again. It's not even a joke. With a family friend at Two Bellies. He was getting this green card, and one of the things you have to know about the history of America. So they started training, and he said, you know who the first president of the United States is? He says, no, who? He says, George Washington. He says, how am I going to remember George Washington? He says, well, you travel to Muncie, you go on the George Washington Bridge. George Washington. Ah, okay. So the guy sits down and he says, no, so who's the first president of the United States? He says, the George Washington Bridge. All right, here's the video from the George Washington Bridge. I love the truck coming over the white line. Kiminag Eretz Yisrael. And anybody driving Eretz Yisrael, you know that the white lines, the lanes, is just like it's a good idea kind of thing. It's not, you don't have to stay in your lane. Usually people go over the white line into your lane. It's not for shtick. What? Something like that. Like some people believe red lights are just recommended. Yeah. Here we go.
Tiny bridge here, the George Washington Bridge, and this car is right in front of me. I have no idea who it is, but we'll get to see.
And it says MDY family. How cool is
That's right.
All right, and this is Rabbi Josh Brody that interviewed on Behind the Bima along with Rabbi Ephraim Goldberg. So was spotted this morning watching you at 6 a.m. in the Kol Boker pre-davening. There are at least 3 guys in the Kol Boker and Boker Ratan doing the same. Simcha Firestone, Boker Ratan, Yishkoyach. So another person who interviewed me and got stuck doing the daf, including Ari Chaimowitz, and also what's his name for Meaningful People. He was doing the daf for a while. I don't know if he still does, but we got to get him back in. What's his name? Who? Not Nissan Gans. No, for Meaningful People. The interviewer for Meaningful People, not Yaakov Langer, the other, Nachi Gordon. Thank you, thank you. So Nachi Gordon was doing the daf. Yaakov said he can't do it because he's doing. He does the memory one, the not whatever, you know, the other program. Fine, as long as he's learning Torah. Rabbi Sai, here we go. The Koilol sponsored by Binyomin Rosenfeld for Atzlocha in business. The Masech sponsored for the safe and speedy return of all the hostages. Before I forget, happy birthday to Eli Hefter of Baltimore, a true role model for Ahavas Yisrael, and many other things. Yishkoyach Eli Hefter. The Paras HaChodesh. Zechraya ben Moshe, Zechraya bas Yosef. Paras HaChodesh. Yedidya Pereira, thank you for your tefillos. בחסדי Hashem, Yehonathan Yehuda ben Michal was granted bail to his home in the UK. Paras HaChodesh Binyomin Rosenfeld with gratitude to Reb Biderman, Reb Eli, Gedale Fenster for his podcast, and Michael Safdie for dailybitochen.com. Paras HaShavua Ari and Atara Stawis in honor of our 15th year anniversary and coming up on 2 years doing the daf, 2-year daf anniversary. Paras HaYoim L'Nishmas Rizal Bas Moshe Aaron Niftere Chof Hey of Tovshin Ayin Hey. Her neshama should have an aliyah. Paras HaYoim Rickey Cohen in memory of my father Bernard Morris Cohen. Dover Moshe Ben Yaakov, his neshama should have an aliyah. And the art of the month is Chus for Rebellion and the whole MDY staff to continue to make Torah so enjoyable for so many. I want to announce to the Olam something very, very interesting. Yossi Klein, who's doing a phenomenal job bringing and taking MDY to the next level. He had this idea that we should do a Hakoras HaTov trip for the very large donors of MDY. And so, the idea was to go to Poland in Elul. So, September 9th, Be'ezer Hashem, We're going 20 guys, 20 people that donated, $15,000 and up to MDY. We're going on a special trip. Be'ez Hashem, we're going to be able to reach the Chofetz Chaim's kever, which is extremely, extremely difficult. It requires a lot of work, and they're working very hard on it. Vilna Gaon's kever, Denai Melech, different. We're going to go to one of the camps. So, Remeir Shapir, there's going to be a shir live, Be'ez Hashem, that's the plan. Live shir in Remeir Shapir's Bismedrash, in the Vilna Gaon Shul, in the Chofetz Chaim's Yeshiva. 3 live shiurim. That's the plan. I really hope we could get to the Chofetz Chaim. That was like the big thing, and it's very complicated with army troops and just Belarus. It's a whole matter. They're working really, really hard, and we're supposed to have Rabbi Ephraim Shapiro from North Miami Beach come with us. We'll see if that works out. The Kitzer, it's just I have a tremendous Hakoras to Yossi because I'm not doing anything. I'm just coming. It was a dream of mine to go there, and it's just very difficult for me to travel, and traveling is really, really hard. But as it's all coming together. Like the Hakoras HaTov, I want to show these people like Fischl, and the guys that really gave a lot of themselves to MDY, and killed 2 birds with one stone. I always wanted to do it, and it's a good opportunity. It'll be shiurim, and everything will be on the best way. And top of the line food and nice places to stay. It's like a whole. Bentzi Friedman, my partner, he's basically running the whole thing behind the scenes because he's done it for his shul, Kal Hasidim here in Chicago. So just wanted to let the Olam know. Yes, I'm going back to Israel, but probably a week later I'm going to be back on the plane, back on this. But it should be interesting. Shiurim in these places, I know I'm going to be very emotional. To say Shir by Meir Shapiro's yeshiva, he started Daf Yomi. But Vilna Gaon's kever, but not kever, shul, but like, I'm getting emotional thinking about it. All right. So, no, just Hakoras HaTov. That's what it's all about, Hakoras HaTov. So, Zok the Gemara. We are holding, in Be'ez Hashem, don't be too jealous. You could be Zoicha to go, because Baruch should give you enough money to donate that kind of money. In Be'ez Hashem, next year we'll go to the jungle or something. We'll do something cool. Itmar. We're holding the Samach Dalal and Beis all the way in the bottom. Itmar. Ravuna Amarav Haloch Divrei Chachamim. So, let me just show you this real quickly. This is today's sugya basically, for the most part. When a person sells something, does he sell with all his heart? Is he large, green? He lets it go. And when he sells something, he sells it with the pathway. And like yesterday's video, that the kids here, they remember the sugya. They told me before the shir, they said they liked the video. I said, what was the video about? They told me with the sandwich. They also explained what the idea behind it was. That, right? Remembered? Here, these kids, with the smiling. We'll put them on video here. Yeah? You remembered?
Yep. Yeah.
Where are you from? New York?
I'm from New York. He's from Chicago.
I know. What's your name from New York?
Yehuda Siegel.
And what's his name, Siegel?
Menachem Siegel.
Menachem. Wow, that's a famous name. And what's your name? Another boy. What's your name?
Wag.
Shmuel what?
Wag.
Wag. You're from Chicago. Very nice. So, very nice. But the point is, especially kids and adults, they remember a concept. The concept was, as they explained to me, that even though he sold it, but he kept the basement, the water cistern for himself, and therefore he's able to knock on the door and bother the guy from eating a sandwich. Why? Because Moicher buying Yafa Moicher. Chacham say no, Moicher buying Ra Moicher. When he sells, he doesn't give. When you sell something, you don't give away. Or buying Yafa, buying Yafa means he gives everything away. He doesn't provide himself away, so he wouldn't be able to go to the basement. Moicher buying Ra, he does provide himself away, and he could go to the basement. So we have Rav over here, which is the last word on the Amud. Rav says the halacha k'derech chachamim. Rav, we could just go straight here. It's the same exact chart, but it just says the name Rav next to chachamim, so it lines up. Rav says the halacha is like red, like chachamim, no go. Shmuel, like Rabbi Akiva, moicher b'ayin yafa. Shmuel says halacha Rebbe Kiva. So the Gemara is going to say soon, why do I need to say this case that Shmuel and Rav argue what the halacha is, when in fact they say they have the same exact machlokes when it comes to brothers and inheritance. Okay, I'm just prefacing it so you know what we're talking about. Again, Rav and Shmuel argues the halacha like Rebbe Kiva or like Chachamim. Many times you've told me, you've said in front of Rav, Hilchas Rebbe Kiva. I many times said it myself, Kamed Rav, that what Hilchas Rebbe Kiva. How could you tell me that Rav is like red, like Chachamim, when in fact Rav says like Rebbe Kiva? Because I used to say in front of Rav that the halacha is like Rebbe Kiva, and he never corrected me. So that means that he agrees that the halacha is Moicher Ba'yafa, like the right side, like green. So, Omalei Hechatanisa, tell me exactly the words you said. I want to hear what you said. Omalei Ibchatanina. I said the reverse. So the Rashbam says, he never said those words. He didn't say, I said the reverse. He said what he said. We are telling you he said the reverse. Yeah? Because if he knew that was the reverse, then he wouldn't ask the question. He thought that he's saying it the right way. So basically, hold on. It goes like this. He thought, this is what we know. The Rebbe Kiva says, Moicher Bayin Yafa Moicher. But when he repeated to Rav, he said, Rebbe Kiva says, Moicher Bayin Ra Moicher. So Rav didn't say anything. Rav said, okay, beautiful. Moicher Bayin Ra, because that's what Rav says. Rav is red. He put green Rebbe Kiva, he put him in red. He mixed it up. It's supposed to be red with red. Ah, you made a mistake. Okay, fine. Now it makes sense. Rav holds Moicher Bayin Ra. Now what is the exact halacha? We're going to see that the halacha is going to be like Shmuel and Rebbe Kiva. Says the Gemara. What?
What does that mean, they mix it up? I don't understand. How the pastors, these people, the Gedale, to mix up?
Mix up what?
Who said what?
Who said what? That's not a big... Sometimes Talmidim mix up what the Rebbe said. That's a different problem. He's just saying the concept. He said, Moicher Bayin Ra Moicher. And Rav said, oh, beautiful. It could be that he didn't even say the name. He just said, he never said, maybe he didn't say the name Rebbe Kiva. He said, Vazir Sagin Amrita Kamed Rav, Hilchas Rebbe Kiva. He thought that he's telling him the halacha is Rebbe Kiva. But in fact, what he told Rav was, Ba'ayin Ra Moicher. And Rav said, okay, yeah, you're right, Ba'ayin Ra Moicher. He didn't say Rebbe Kiva says Ba'ayin Ra. He just said Ba'ayin Ra. Okay, now that we see Shmuel holds like Rebbe Kiva, he says the halacha is like Rebbe Kiva. And Rav passes like Chachamim. Says Gemara, Omalei Ravina and Rashi, Lema Ozdul Tamayu, Rav and Shmuel line up with a different machlok. It's the same exact thing. The Omer of Nachman, Omer Shmuel. So I want you to remember this line over here. Rav Nachman said in the name of Shmuel. In other words, Rav Nachman is a Talmud of Shmuel. Rav Nachman says, Omer Shmuel, I heard from Shmuel. Because it's important, in 11 lines from now, Rav Nachman is going to say, is the halacha like us? So what does like us mean? Like us means like over here. Look, he's quoting his Rebbe Shmuel. It's color war, yeah? Team green or team red? Is the halacha like us? That Moicher Bayin Yafa Moicher or Moicher Bayin Ra Moicher? Okay. So the Omer Rav Nachman of Shmuel, Achim Shechalku Elam Lo Derech. Listen to this. This is crazy. Two brothers inherited some real estate. And remember, we had a whole machlokes is when brothers divide real estate, are they like lekuchos? Are they like buying from each other? So listen to this. Brothers that divide real estate, one brother gets the second floor. They inherit a two-flat. Yeah? Two apartments. The guy on the top, the guy on the bottom. Or they inherit a house with a swimming pool. You get the pool, I get the house. The guy with the pool doesn't get a pathway to the pool. The guy on the second floor can't climb into the second floor. He gets nothing. Pelaplay. Ein lem lo derech zelze. They don't have a pathway. V'lo sulam zelze. What's percent? Mark, maybe tell Nisanel Gens that he shouldn't be calling in middle shir. He's so far off listening to the shir that he doesn't have. Okay. So, and they can't even put a ladder to climb up into their property, because if the ladder is in somebody else's chotzer, it's usher. You can't put it in your brother's field, in brother's backyard. You can't have windows seeing through. You can put up a wall there. I can't even dig a channel of water to come to my field through your field. So it might be counterintuitive a little bit, but it works like this: that a brother who sells his portion to his other brother, you take this, I take this. So I'm selling you my thing. When I'm selling you, Shmuel says, Ba'in Yafa. So what does that mean? I didn't leave myself a path. I gave you everything. You hear? It's like a little bit counterintuitive. I'm so large, I'm so large that when I give you your 50% of the Yerusha, I give it to you and I don't leave myself even a sidewalk, even a way to get to the pool. So Mela, and when you give me whatever you're giving me, you don't leave yourself either. It goes by the seller, not by the buyer. The seller gives with a tremendous heart. He gives him everything and doesn't leave himself even a pathway or a place to put a ladder or a window or anything like that. V'Rav Amar yesh lahen. And Rav says, no, since I'm a brother, I give it to you with a stinginess, so I left myself a pathway to get to my pool. So it's the same machlokes that we said before. That Shmuel holds like Reb Akiva, but just it's another context. It's in a case of two brothers dividing their thing. What do you say?
Why is it stinginess? I mean, he just wants to be able to use what he has. It's like just being a chacham. Like.
No, you're talking about something else. The guy that wants to use what he has, he's the buyer. I'm talking about the seller. The seller, is he stingy? Does he give everything, or he leaves himself something and he's stingy? You're saying that he left it for himself to use what he has somewhere else. Yeah. Okay, but it's a way of saying it. That I give you everything or I don't give you anything. Do I leave for myself something or not? That's the whole sugya. So you see that today also. I mean, it's a certain personality. Some people, those of you should know, and we've done a lot of these things. A lot of times you buy a house or you sell a house, so you're large. You say, you know what, you can have the refrigerator, you can have this, there's a few other extra things. You're large. I once bought a property, and the guy was large. He left me trucks and tools. It was millions of dollars, but I felt so good because I got this free truck that probably cost $15,000. This is nothing, a fraction of the price. It's geschmack. Sometimes you go, people that sell these properties, these larger properties, they go into the maintenance shop, and they take the saws and the this and all the drills, and and then you come into the first day, you feel like they took advantage of me. It's buying yafa or buying raw. There's this. Some people sell and some people don't sell. It's a certain personality, huh? Anyway, so Zog the Gemara. So the Gemara just says tzricha, a very, very simple tzrichusa. In other words, why does Rav and Shmuel have to argue? Is the halacha like Reb Akiva or like Shmuel? And also argue, and it's the same point, the same logic. Does a brother give his other brother a path or not? It's the same idea. The bottom line is moicher b'ayin yafa, moicher or not. So the Gemara says, you know what? When it comes to brothers dividing, I would think that there's another logic involved here, and that's why they argued on this as well. The what? Tzricha, the Yashminu Bahi, almost in the middle of the Amud, in other words, by the brothers. Bahi Kama Rav. You know why Rav says Ba'in Ra? that he left himself a path. I want to live there like my father lived there. Shalom Aleichem. What does that mean? It only makes sense, us children want to use the property the same way our father used it. He was able to climb up nicely. He was able to dive off a regular diving board, not a diving board from the street. He was able to use the pool normally. That's how we decided to divide it, no? You're right, now it's not one owner, it's two owners, but let us at least use it in the same usage. It makes sense. Teida, and I'll even prove it from a pasuk. It says in Tehillim, Tachas abaysecha yuvanecha. Instead of your fathers, you will be the sons. In other words, the sons are going to be under the same way the fathers are. The pasuk is actually talking about, believe it or not, Torah. When a father learns Torah, so his children will be zaycha to also learn Torah. I always tell the Olam in this year that it's always kedai to learn at home. You know, if you have a choice of learning at home or in shul, there's kedusha in the home, but it's great when the kids see that you open up what's important to you. Instead, you learn it in shul, you dive in shul, you work, so when you come home, all they see is, you open up YouTube. You do YouTube the whole day. That's what they have. Instead, no, you do Torah the whole day. You know what I'm saying? It's very mashpia on the children. The girls should see that their father learned, because then they want to marry a guy like that, a learner, etc., etc. It's mashpia. So, Ava Baha, Ema Moidelei Shmuel, but when it comes to the Machlekes Rebbe Akiva and Chachamim, we go back to the regular logic. That what? Maybe Moicher Ba'yafa Moicher. It's only when it comes to children dividing the property, he says, listen, I'm not stingy. I just want to use it the same way that the Thai used to use it. And now we're just reversing it. Shmuel, okay. So before we said that Rav Nachman is a Talmud of Shmuel. So Rav Nachman tells Rav Huna, is the halacha like our team Shmuel, or team Rav? In other words, the halacha that Moicher B'ayin Yafa Moicher B'ayin Royav. The halacha is like you, like team Shmuel, like Rebbe Akiva. How do I know? The Bekurvitu lebava the Rish Galus. So we know throughout Shas, Rav Nachman was the son-in-law of the Rish Galus. And therefore, since he's there all the time, the Shrich Dayana, he hears the halachas in the psakim. He knows that the halacha is Moicher Ba'ayin Yafa Moicher Itmar. Shnei Batim Zelifnim Ezeh. So in the time of the Gemara, it was very normal to have a house within a house. You had to walk through the front house to get to the back house. Here's the back house. There's only one front door. And the only way to get to the back, the Pnimi, is to walk through the Chitzayni. So, Shnei B'mecher, a person sells the back room to one guy, and the front room to another guy. How in the world is the guy going to get into his back room? The only way to walk in there is through the front, through the other guy's house. The problem is he doesn't have the right to go into his house. Shnei Matana, or let's say he gave both them as a gift. Ein lem derech zeh. Here's a question, Stam. What do you guys think? Who are you closer to? Somebody you give a gift to, or somebody you sell something to? Gift. Gift, you're closer. Why are you giving him a gift? Because you're the wealthy uncle from America, and you give a gift to your nephew from Israel, yeah? The rich uncle from America. It's normal. The one you give a gift to is somebody you're close to. Okay. So the guy in the back is stuck. He has no way to get it. Yosef sent me this thing. I forgot to show it. I really should show it. Maybe if I remember after share, remind me. No, but it was I can't really show it. Okay. But basically, a couple bought a lot in Florida. All good stories, by the way, happen where? In Florida. Including the hotel, the Hard Rock Cafe, and everything else. All the good stories happen in Florida. So a couple bought a giant lot to build 3 houses on, and they found out that there's no way to get to the lot. The only way to get to the lot is through a street, and the street is privately owned. And the guy said, you can't come through our street. So he tried to negotiate. They said, no, we're not going to sell you the right to go through the lot. So one guy over there said, okay, I'll sell you my lot, so like a little strip, but maybe the city's not so maskim. Okay. So, says the Gemara, what happens if chitzoin b'mecher upnimi kolshkein? This is what we're holding. Kolshkein chitzoin b'matana upnimi b'mecher. If the outside guy was given a gift, so certainly, since his uncle gave him everything, largely, then he didn't give the inside guy anything. The inside guy, he sold it to. He doesn't like him that much. The outside guy, he loves, it's his nephew. So, therefore, the inner guy is stuck. But what happens if it's reversed? The guy he loves is on the inside, and the guy he doesn't like so much is on the outside. Did he chop away when he sold him the outside room? Did he at least leave a little bit for his nephew to get into the inside room? You hear the shayla? Says Gemara, if the inside one is a gift, perhaps it's the same like all the other cases, that the inside guy, even though it's a gift, he doesn't have a derech. It's not true. We learned in the Mishnah. Check out this Mishnah. So this is the Mishnah that we're going to learn on Daf Ari and Atara, less than a week. It says, if I sell you a field, it doesn't include a bar, it doesn't include a gas, it doesn't include a shoyvach, it doesn't include anything. I sell you a field, anything else, extra is not on there. And the Gemara explains, it's only when I sell you a field, it doesn't include a bar, it doesn't include a swimming pool, it doesn't include this. But when I give it as a gift, nice and as cool, and I give you, I'm a large, I give it to you, I'm the wealthy uncle that gives you the swimming pool, the olive press, everything is included. Alma, so what do you see from here? Mandayov matana ba'in yafayev. Hachanami mandayov matana ba'in yafayev. So you see from here, why? The rich uncle gives everything. So here also now sugya, the guy on the inside room, he gets a pathway. Talking about gifts. So somebody's wife's birthday, and his friend asked him, I know it's your wife's birthday, how much do you spend on your wife's birthday gift? So he said, What, $4,000? 400? 4? You spend $4 on your wife's birthday gift? You crazy? If I was your wife, I'd break your teeth. Zog the Gemara. Did it for the kids, Hamoiches abayis, depends on the audience. Hamoiches abayis, mochar sadelas. Listen to this. If I sell you a house, so I told you this a few times, I rented a house from a guy that I'm very friendly with. He's a big part of the Shir in Eretz Yisrael. Rented the house. I actually never lived there. Rented it for a bunch of months. We thought we were just as a backup. First day I come in there, it was the first night actually. I come in there, turn on the lights, nothing goes on. Go to all the bedrooms, nothing. Oh, it must be the fuse box. I go to the fuse box, everything's perfect. So I take out my phone, no bulbs. The renter before me decided that it makes sense that they got every single bulb and save $20 in the next house. So now I have to go to the store and buy sugar. And that's normal. I don't know, it's normal, but when you buy a house in Israel, it's bare bones. You don't get a closet, you don't get a light bulb, nothing, zero. No, of course not a refrigerator. That's not to be discussed. So it starts from this Mishnah right here. This is what started it. If I sell a house, mochar sadelas. By the way, it's good news, you get a door. The doors are included. But not the key. Rabbi Sai, we have a video for the kids. Are you laughing? For sale, $100,000. Okay. So what you guys just learned? Let's hear what you just learned. That when you sell the house, it doesn't include the key. The key is a different price. House costs $100,000. You want a key? Oh, that's $1 million. Okay, fine. Oh, I have a story for you guys. You want a good story? This is 3 Jews They need to stay in a hotel for Shabbos. So they come to the hotel, Erev Shabbos, and the guy says, no, we have nothing available, but we have one room available on the 40th floor. 40th floor, Shabbos. Okay, we'll take it. So after shul and everything, so they're discussing how we're going to get up to the 40th floor. So the guy says, I'll tell you jokes the whole way. And like this, we'll be able. So you start climbing, the guy tells jokes. 10th floor, he runs out of jokes. So now what? So the other guy says, I'm a good singer. I'll sing you some songs. So he starts singing. Kids, 10 floors later, he's done. Now what? So the third guy says, I'll tell you stories. Stories, okay. So they keep on going. They're climbing, huffing, puffing. He's telling stories. They get to the 30th floor. Finished. Now what? So the guy says, you know what? I'll tell you one more story. It's short and it's very sad. He said, listen, there's once 3 guys that were stuck without a hotel room on Shabbos. And they had a hotel room on the 40th floor. So they started climbing. When they got to the 31st floor, they realized that they climbed 30 floors, but they forgot the key in the lobby. So people still use this today. I'm sure Yosef Ben Zev has one of these in his house. I have a few of them in Ramat Bet Shemesh for the shir. A mortar and pestle. You take some. Do you have one of these? Of course, Yosef Ben Zev has one. I was like, okay. What's the shaila? Who else has one here? It's Chicago. What do you expect? Okay, everybody here in the room, Baruch Hashem, has one. You take some. Not everyone. Those from New York don't. You take some herbs, whatever, and you grind them. You go like this. Everything's Beseder. But in those days, they used it a lot. So you could have something like this. Built in into the wall. So when I sell you a house, I sell you the built-in mortar and pestle. We'll call it mortar, the machteshes. But not this one, not the movable one. Mochar is a stroibel. So here you have the what do you call it? The grinder? What's it called? This is how you make flour. What is it called? Mill. It's on top of a wooden pedestal called a stroibel. And the kelis is like when you need to fill gas up. What do you use? The funnel. Okay. So the kelis is actually a portable thing. So that's not included. That's a very movable object. The bottom piece of wood, you're right, it's wood, but it's connected to the floor. Connected to the floor is not included. It is part of the house. So Rachamol. Mochar is stroibel. It's included in the sale. Why? Because it's connected to the floor. Avalois keles, but not the hopper. Avalois tanur, and not an oven. So over here we're talking about a smaller oven. Here we go. The smaller one that you can move is not included. A one that's built in, the giant one, like a matzah bakery one, that is obviously included. V'lois hakirayim, it's the larger type of tanur. It's a two burner one. Tanur is one. However, bizman shomar loy hu b'chol mash b'toichai. If he includes, he says, "I'm selling you everything in the house." Oh, it's everything, right? Yosef, how does it work today? You have this whole thing. I'm selling you everything. So there's a whole list. Does include dishwasher, washer and dryer, refrigerators. It's everything. It's right. You remember those things. They still have it. You have to mark off each one. Air conditioning, fan, ceiling fan. Okay. I guess in America also it's not included in the sale unless you include it, but everybody includes it. Okay. Hare kulon mechurin. Everything is included. Daf Samachayom and Beis on top. So the Rishban points out it's not everything. It doesn't include your pajamas, your suits, your hats. It means things that belong in a house, like a mortar. Sometimes it's movable, sometimes it's not. Okay.
But the thing the pestle, whatever it's called, that's not attached to the house, and it shouldn't include that.
Well, what?
The thing that you grind.
Yeah, but since some people do attach it, some not, and so then it's like a mill. Mills are attached, some are not. Some are made. That's something to discuss.
Even the front.
Huh? The movable, the top part.
Oh, this guy? That guy not. No, that guy not. So before I go, so let's just say the sponsor, sponsored by Yisrael Share Construction Management Supervision and Life Share Community Protecting Families Today before tomorrow's unexpected loss, the Kidnovations LLC, in honor of my Uncle Reb Elchanan Pressman, official and his Akiva Simcha Ben Fayga, and Rickey Cohen. As I mentioned, but you might have not have heard it because it was during the email portion. Be'ezer Hashem, September 9th, Yossi's, another one of Yossi's initiatives. He's working really, really hard on this. We're doing a Hakoras HaTov trip to Europe, to the Mekamis HaKadoshim, to a lot of Kvarim, and some special ones like the Chofetz Chaim. Is very, a lot of people haven't been by the Chofetz Chaim, Vilna Gaon. These are a little bit out of the thing, but because the Maggid Shir is Litvish, so we're going to the Vilna Gaon. We're also going to do Hasidim, etc., etc. But we're going to have 3 special shiur and one. I mean, the shiur is not special, but the place is special. The shiur is going to be by Chachmi Lublin, Yeshiva, Meir Shapir's Yeshiva, in the Vilna Gaon Shul, and in the Chofetz Chaim's Yeshiva in Radin. Be'ezer Hashem. So this is, it's just, I'm nervous because these are for the guys that gave very generously to MDY, and I'm scared that I'm not involved in this at all. I'm scared that Yossi might have left somebody off the list. If you think that you belong in this trip, so please contact Yossi. I don't want to hurt anybody, and I hope everybody else understands. It's a Hakoras HaTov to people that really helped the shir grow, because some people have given really generously over the last year or whatever, and we want to give back. It's our way of showing Hakoras HaTov. It's basically we're paying for the trip completely for the most part, and a way to say Yeshua Koyach. There's going to be music, and Rebbe Ephraim Shapiro, Be'ezer Hashem, and the nicest buses, the best food, the whole top style. But anyways, if you believe you're on this, you belong here, or maybe even, I don't know, maybe you could just donate now and come. But that's a different. Talk to Yossi. But if you weren't invited and you really, I can't take a chrais. I really can't. I'm not. I don't get involved in the details like that. Anyway, Zok the Gemara. Leime masnisen deloy kirev meir. Perhaps our Mishnah doesn't go according to Meir, and the Gemara says you're right. It doesn't go according to Meir. But the Gemara says we have to figure out why. Also, I love Yossi dearly. He thought it would be a great idea after I just came back from Los Angeles and that whole trip with my wife. After I'm traveling 2 days to get there to Israel, I'll be back, and just right about when I get over my jet lag, boom, right back on a plane to Europe. I love you, Yossi. So perhaps the mission doesn't go like your Meir. Dear Meir, Omar, mochar sakerem, mochar tashmishi kerem. If I sell a vineyard, it includes also, check this out, believe it or not, these beams and these poles that hold up the vineyard. It's not part of the vines. These are things you have to buy in Home Depot, these metal sticks. They actually sell them now. Look it up. I looked it up today. It's called vine stakes. Not a steak that you eat, but STAKES. They sell them. So I guess they have some value. Is it part of the vineyard or not? I sold you a vineyard, but did I sell you metal? No. Yes, Rameir says it's included. Doesn't really fit into our Mishnah. It says, right? We said ki not, this Rameir. We're talking about something that's permanently in the ground, that's included in the vineyard. Oh, but what about a key? Isn't the key also permanent? Ma'del is the kviya, maftech the kviya. If we put in the same sentence as a door, and a door is something that's permanent, it's on a hinge, it's permanent to the house, so key also is permanent. Like your mayor, like I said before, the Mishnah doesn't go like Shitas Remeir. By the way, good news for you, we're not going to go to the bottom of the Amud today, because tomorrow's Amud is very short, and it's all one sugya, so I'm going to stop like 8 lines from the bottom. Just to remind you, you might have seen this one. I was probably the nicest shul and hotel in the world. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't been to all the hotels, but in London, what's the name of this hotel? They advertise in the Mishpach magazine all the time. It's a Frum hotel. Anyway, I guess it used to be a little church in this. It used to be like it's a 150-year-old building for like women, like what is it called? The Pillar Hotel, right? So I guess they had a little minister, I don't know, like some sort of church or something in there. It's unbelievable. They made it into a shul. Look at the windows here in the beginning. You see that limestone? Look at this limestone. It's unbelievable. So anyways, there's a door there, and I said, wow, this is mamish from the Gemara, this door.
I want to show you something very interesting. Gemara always
The
talks
thickness
about
of this
the
door,
mano,
wood, and the whole
and this guy
design.
right over here. I'll show you how it works. You turn this.
Anyways, this is a neger and a manul. It has everything.
Let me see. This is the real deal, this door.
Oh, neger.
Doors open down. That's the mano.
Manu. Okay, so Hamoiches Abayis Mocher Sadeles V'Saneger V'Samanul Avaloi Samaftech. If you sell a house, it includes the door and the neger and the lock, but not the key. Mocher Zamachteshes Hachakuko. If he sold a mortar, that Hachakuka means that he found like a stone, and he decided he carved out a stone from within his house. So that's included in the house because it started out as part of the house. Avaloyes hakavua. So this is a kavua. The one that I showed you should be a kavua. This one. Why? You see, it's a different color, different everything. A guy, he had a machteshes, he had a mortar, and he connected it to the wall somehow. So that puts us in a new sugya. That's tomorrow's sugya, basically. It's a very interesting shayla. If I take a kli, let's say I take this chandelier out of a box. What is it? It's a kli. But I attach it to the ceiling. Did it become a house, or is it still a kli? What is it? You hear the shayla?
It's like in the shower, you attach a shelf to put your soap on it.
Okay, but that's already shelves. I'm talking about a kli. Sometimes you know, in a butcher shop, I don't know, they have like, you know those can openers. I'm thinking like in the restaurants, giant can openers. They attach it to the wall. So is it a kli or is it a wall? What is it? How do I view it halachically? So that's the question here. I took this mortar thing and I attached it. If I took part of my wall and I carved it out, that's obvious part of the wall. It started a wall and now it's continued to be a wall. But here I took a kli, I bought a kli in a store and I attached it to my wall. Does it become part of the wall? So it's a mochar samachtash zachakuka. If he carved it out of the wall, then it's included. Avaloi zakavua, not if you was off the wall and you put it attached to the wall. I'm going to see another mandama that says now. Mochar heitzreibel. If I sold you this piece on the bottom of the mill, the wooden piece which is attached, great. Avaloi sakelis. It doesn't include the hopper on top. Lo yisatana v'lo yisakirayim v'lo yisarichayim. It doesn't include movable stoves and that kind of stuff. I don't care where it started off. You could have bought it in the store. You could buy it in Home Depot and you attach it to your house. If you attach it to your house, it becomes like the karka. If a person says, I'm selling you everything that's in my house, so it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter what happened, it's all sold. But if I say I'm selling you everything, as we mentioned yesterday, it doesn't include very substantial things like a swimming pool, like a bar in the basement. Lois habar, velois hadus. What's a dus? Guys, you remember what a dus is? The lining in the well. Very good. How old are you? Yeah. 11. Psh. Wow. Very choshev. Should have a lot of nachas. Guy. Ben Azmanim trip. Where does the father take him? He says the amusement park, takes him to the shir. And his father told me that when they came home last night after the shir, they turned on the YouTube again to watch, I don't know, YouTube, what on YouTube? On all Daf, they watched it again. Unbelievable. So, you guys remember what Yitzia is? Yitzia is that little room, the addition that a person builds off his house. It serves the same function as the house, but it's like another addition. But since it's substantial, so that's not included in the house, even if the guy says, I'm selling you everything that's in the house, Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.